Right up next, we have Miss Jack, Lyle with PASA.
Hi, I'm Jackie Lyle. I'm the creative director of PASA. Some of you may have known me as the executive director, but we have a wonderful staff, small though it is, people who are stepping up, and I'm able to step back and think primarily about what we do from a creative standpoint, how we can offer more activities, who we can partner with more, and what we want the future of what we bring on stage to look like. How do we serve more people? The things that really take time to think about, and I know a lot of people listening have that problem, that you have so much to do that there's really never time to sit down and think. So hopefully creative director is going to be a position that lets me have a little bit more time to think. For those of you who know PASA, we are Performing Arts Serving Acadiana, and we bring performances to Lafayette. We're not the Broadway series. We don't do everything at the Hyman Center, although some of our shows are at the Hyman Center. We offer daytime performances for students. We offer master classes, workshops, and some of you may know that we have a program called Possible, which is our accessibility initiative, and maybe even some of you who are listening in today are part of the Possible team. You know, we took a look at the world of accessibility and saw where we were falling short. So we called together a group of people, including the Autism Society, to figure out how to make our shows more accessible. And the first look was at the Hyman Center facility itself and how it could be more accessible to really everybody. So first thing off, we designated an entrance to the Hyman Center as an accessible entrance. It's the entrance that has the least traffic. And if you're looking at the Hyman Center, you'll see a door on the far left, and that's the accessible entrance. Then we heard a lot about how the lobby is so small, it's hard to get around, and getting to your seat when the doors open is harder. So we established early seating, just like the airlines do. So if you need extra time to get to your seat, you can go to your seat 10 minutes before the show starts. We also heard from people that sometimes people have a reaction to lighting and to sound or to a crowd, and it's too much for them and they need an escape place. Well, we don't want to see anybody sitting on the floor outside the doors into the seating area. So we have a quiet zone in the lobby that's tucked away under one of the stairwells. And then if anybody needs a break, whether it's a child who the lights were scaring, or it's another child who's just like distracted and needs a break but doesn't want to leave the show, we have the quiet zone for that. We can bring in sign language interpreters when needed. And, you know, we really encourage everyone to think about performances as an opportunity for everyone to grow, not just everyone listening to this podcast, but everybody in our community. We have something coming up, 2 shows coming up that I think are fun for everyone. The first one is Branford Marsalis and Diane Reeves. So this is a jazz show. So there's a lot of encouragement to, you know, it's not unusual for a jazz audience to break out in applause when they think a jazz musician has just played something fantastic. So this is not a show where you have to sit still and quiet the whole time. We also have Dog Man the Musical on January 12th. The show is on a Tuesday, so we're starting it at 6 p.m. And for those of you who follow Dog Man or who followed Captain Underpants, which is another of Dave Spivey's books series, this could be a really fun show for you and your family. We got started, I got started in this field because I wanted my children to have great performances to go to. I was a young mom. I was the advertising director at the Times of Acadiana, if you remember that publication. And there was going to be an absence of the types of performances that PASA brings in. And I got involved with people who were trying to figure it out. And when we decided we needed to hire somebody, I said, well, I want to try. And I left my job at the Times, my daytime portions of it. I continued writing for the paper and became PASA's first executive director. And that was when it was Performing Arts Society of Acadiana in 1989. So I've been doing this more than half of my life. I have really no background other than just loving performances. I was not a music major or a dance major, although I play instruments and I've danced my whole life. I just took what I loved, what I wanted to pass on to my kids, just like so much of the things that you all do, and it turned into this job that's been fantastic. When people want to know what PASA does or they have a question, we have a website. It's pasaonline.org. We have a Facebook page for Performing Arts Serving Acadiana. We have an Instagram account at PASA Acadiana, so that's the at symbol PASACADIANA. And for our phone number, we actually have a landline. It's 337-769-3231. As we continue to grow our organization, and there was a time when we weren't on stage, but every year we've added something new to what we do. So Possible was something that we added in 2023. We also have performances at Barranco Elementary, which is another accessible venue. And Barranco Elementary is, some people still know it as the former N.P. Moss Middle School, but it's a great building. It's 100 years old. It has a 400-seat theater, and it's located at the intersection of Moss Street and Mud Avenue. We love to have volunteers. We have volunteers from the special needs community as well as from just anybody who's interested. You can volunteer as an usher at the Hyman Center. You can volunteer as an usher at Barranco. And then this is something really important. We looked at our ticket pricing and where the prices of seats were located. And for most shows, the least expensive tickets are at the top of the balcony or in the very back. And the Hyman Center is not a 100% accessible venue because it doesn't have an elevator to the second floor. And we know for some people sitting up high, I know for me it's a problem sometimes, is a deterrent. So if I can't afford or don't want to spend as much money as a ticket costs to sit downstairs, I just don't go. And I know there are other people who feel the very same way. So we took our seating chart and we changed the way seats are allocated according to price. So downstairs for every performance, there are seats that are $25. There's no password for those. There's no requirement for proving that you need that seat like there is for a wheelchair seat. You have to sort of prove that. But these seats are downstairs. They're on the outside edges of a handful of rows, and they're $25. Anybody who's listening who wants to come or bring someone with them, come as a family to see Branford Marcellus and Diane Reeves, you can sit downstairs for $25. Same goes for Dog Man the Musical. Same goes for all of our shows. We have a great show October 16th. It's the Martha Graham Dance Company. We go on. We have at Barranco the play, one-man show, Frederick Douglass. Then we're back at the Hyman Center for Dog Man on January 12th. Then back to Barranco on February 19th with Sky Isaac singing songs from movies. Then we're back at the Hyman Center again. I know it's like back and forth. It's kind of how we feel about it. With the play Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And then we end up again at Barranco with Jill Butler and her Joyride Band performing a night of Burt Bacharach music, some of my favorite music. And you may know, like, Do You Know the Way to San Jose? And Say a Little Prayer. So many Burt Bacharach songs. My favorite is the saddest. It's called A House Is Not a Home. But I can't wait to hear it. I'm hoping Jill will play it. So if you have any questions about what we do, just remember this. When I started PASA in 1989, my children were 2, 4, and 6 years old. They came to every show, regardless of whether it was a dance performance, a music performance, a soprano recital. They came to all of them, and this is how I prepared them. They dressed up, but you don't have to dress up to come to a PASA performance. Just my kids did. And I explained to them that the lights would go out, and it would be dark in the theater, and then the lights on the stage would come up, and it would feel like they were in the light again. And that they would sit still for about 35 minutes, kind of like the length of a 30-minute cartoon. And then they would get up and be able to go to the bathroom. They may get a snack. And then they'd come back for the rest of the show. And they would applaud. They wouldn't talk. They would keep their hands to themselves. And if they were getting disengaged, they would take a little nap. So I encourage everyone to think about bringing your kids to performances. The number one reason that adults do not go to performances is because their parents never brought them. So I say, don't be that parent. Don't have your kids be those kids. Come to a show, and we will look forward to seeing you. And again, if you have any questions, if you have any special needs, if you see an opportunity for PASA to partner with something you're involved in, please call us 337-769-3231. I can also be emailed at Jackie, Jackie, at pasaonline.org. Facebook messages to our Facebook page are not great for us, but all the other ways are. And we hope to not only see you, but to hear from you. We're always looking for new ideas. Have a great day.
Awesome. So real quick, if someone has vision impairment or hearing impairment and would need adaptive assistance, what can they expect to have provided at either one of the locations at Hyman or Barranco to assist them with that?
Well, for vision impairment, we don't have that technology at the Hyman Center or at Barranco where it's like descriptive services. I can't remember what the term is. We don't have that. What we can do is we can have Braille programs and Braille explanations available for someone who reads Braille. And if someone has an idea to help us, because again, we're not experts in this field, we would love to hear what is needed. Did you say hearing impairment?
Yes.
Okay, so hearing impairment. At the Hyman Center, there are infrared listening devices that, those are good for so many people. They pick up only the sound on the stage. And we also can have American Sign Language interpretation. We need a few weeks notice on that so that we can have somebody, especially if it's a scripted performance like Dog Man the musical, have an interpreter get the script and be ready to do the show. So those are the sorts of things we want to help. We just need a little bit of notice. And also, more ideas. We need education.
Awesome. So if there is someone out there who has a child who's autistic and the child may need a little break, maybe getting vocal, how can the parent navigate that at one of your shows?
They can navigate it best by buying one of the outside row seats and then just stepping out and going into the lobby to the quiet zone, or just going into the lobby. You know, sometimes people just need to move around, catch their breath. I'm no expert in helping children who are adults who are autistic, so I can't know more than what I'm educated, and we do study it a lot. But that's one reason we've designated those $25 seats downstairs, so that there's not the height issue and there's easy exit and easy back in. You don't have to climb over people. I hope that's helpful.
Someone's asking which one of the performances is going to be like a play?
The one that is going to be a play, and for me a play is no music, is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The other one is Frederick Douglass. Those two will be plays. There's no music. Dogman the Musical is a musical. So glad somebody has questions.
And just real quick again, how can someone learn more about what PASA is?
Call us. We have some information on our website, but give us a call, 337-769-3231, and we can share documents with you. We can certainly have a discussion with you. Like, I cannot say it enough. This is the area where we have no formal education, and people who are in this group, people who are dealing with the community of special needs or exceptionalities, we know that you all know more than we know, and we can learn from you. We can Google, we can visit other organizations, accessibility programs, but what we really learn the most from is people who have that day-to-day experience and who actually are in the space. I will tell you this, that we are pressing Lafayette Consolidated Government to move the wheelchair seats from where they are now, which are rather restricted views, to back to where the seats would be at a distance from the stage, where if you're in a wheelchair, you can see the floor, you can see the whole thing, the whole show. So we'll be calling on you to get behind us, because we're the ones asking, and we're the ones making noise about it. If you live in Lafayette Parish, you have a voice in this, although this is actually a city council issue, Lafayette City Council. So if you're in the city limits of Lafayette, this will be something you'll be wanting to call your council member about.
And one last thing, you mentioned a quiet space in your lobby for people who might need a quick break, just to maybe just reconnect or whatnot from maybe a little sensory overload.
Yeah.
What would this quiet space look like? Describe it briefly.
Okay, so there's a table and some chairs in it, and it's created with pipe and drapes. So it's black curtains, and you just walk in. You don't have to check in. You don't have to ask. You just go. And we'll have water in there. We do have some supplies, crayons and stuff. We've been told that we don't need those, but we can always put them in. And you can also see the stage on a monitor. So you can escape from it. You can hear it, but not at the sound level that you hear it in the theater. and you can watch what's going on if that's helpful.
Awesome. So even if you need to take a little break, you're not going to necessarily miss the show.
Yeah, you only miss what you miss walking from your seat into the quiet zone.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.